Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. Today we're not doing a tutorial as such, we're just going to take a look at this new fab. I've kind of held off doing a video on it for a couple of weeks just to kind of check it out properly, see what's what, if it's actually good or not. By the video title you'll know we're asking, is it fabulous? And we're going to find out today. We're going to look at some Reddit posts as well. There's a lot of noise around this new setup from Epic, and it's understandable why. It's got its good points, it's got its bad points. We're going to try and kind of go over a few of each of those, and yeah, see if we can answer the question. But Fab is this new kind of marketplace. They've set it up so that you can use it for Unreal and Unity now. So they're kind of trying to cover both sides of the market, which is, in all honesty, quite a smart idea. However, the first thing off the bat, as you can see, we're in the Epic launcher, and normally I can go to my library, I can sort of see my projects, see all of my marketplace assets if I want to, and normally there used to be, like, obviously the marketplace at the top left here, but now that's gone. We've got Fab, but you can't access it through the launcher, which is a massive no-no in my opinion. Losing the ability to do this in the launcher is a huge loss in my opinion, and I have seen it on Reddit. We'll look at the Reddit posts later. I've got a few we can look at, but yeah, massive loss. So we now have to obviously go into this, start exploring, and it brings us to a web browser, which is fine, I guess, because if it's for Unity and Unreal now, and any other game engines, it makes sense that they've done it in a browser. However, because we already had Marketplace in the launcher, it seems strange to me that they forced the Unreal Engine users to go into the web browser. Why didn't they create the Marketplace the same as it was, but Fab, and then just have a web browser option for everyone else? Maybe they'll bring that in the future. Who knows? But in my opinion, that was a bit of a loss there. They could have definitely improved on that. For the most part, everything seems kind of the same, maybe like slightly flashier. Obviously, you can see here they've got the UE editor for Fortnite, Unreal Engine, and Unity platform. So you can see if there's any kind of Unity-only assets or Unreal Engine assets only. For the most part, it is on there. You can kind of see it does label what it's for, but you have to be careful because it's not done very well. I'll cover that in a moment. But yeah, if we scroll down, we can see the limited time free assets. So we only had 3. This was an interesting point because obviously normally, like, I think it's the first Tuesday of the month, we get 5 or 6 new free assets. This time we only had 3, and the point they've made is that they're only making these available till the middle of the month, so on the 19th of November. And then they're going to do 3 more for this, or 2 or 3 more for the second half of the month. So we're still going to get the same amount, but we're going to be drip feeded them throughout the month, which I think is not a bad idea. I think that's quite nice because, you know, we get more free stuff. It feels like we get more free stuff gradually throughout the year, which is kind of nice. I've heard a lot of complaints about the ones we got. An outliner system, which isn't exactly really anything huge. We had the forest animal packs, which I believe was already free. I've definitely had them before either way. But yeah, we had that again. And then we had this one. This one's probably the best one, the military airport environment. I thought it was quite nice, quite big. There's a lot of assets in there. So you could definitely start making scenes with this pretty quickly. So that's kind of one out of 3 ain't bad, right? 1 out of 3 ain't bad. And it's got the usual stuff like new releases. You get obviously offer stuff. It goes through the different categories. Like it did on the old marketplace. So it's very, very similar to the old marketplace. This is what I meant by why didn't they just put this in the launcher, because it would have been no different. You can see your own library in here as well, and you can publish stuff quite a lot easier. So there are some benefits to this, especially if you want to get into releasing your own assets. Let's just search for something. Let's search for, I don't know, let's search for animations. Just see what kind of comes up. So it again still works very similarly. We can see all the different animations. You can still sort for things like, if you wanted to go on the cheaper side, you can sort of see all the different things in price range or relevance or new releases. You've also got the same similar thing on the side here where you have like formats, so we can change things up. So you've even got things where it's like made in 3ds Max, Blender, Maya, Houdini. You can even do FBXs or GLBs. So it feels like they've put a lot more kind of um, formatting on here so that we can find assets that suit our own projects. They have got rid of what I've noticed. You used to be able to search on asset type. I can't see that here, so I think they've got rid of that. And you can also do on price, but yeah, they've definitely got rid of the. So if I wanted to search on props, for example, or maybe I wanted to search on environments, they've got rid of that, which is kind of interesting. That's a bit of a downfall. Let's go on to one though. So let's have a look at what we have now. So this is what a lot of complaints have also been around. Let's pick one. I don't know. Let's go for Cupcake 3D model. Why not, right? So the first thing a lot of people were talking about is they've got rid of the question section and they've got rid of the rating section. It doesn't seem, I don't think we can rate it very easily. No, I can't see anything about rating or leaving like questions. So you kind of have been left to connect with like these creators outside of the marketplace, which is a huge loss because a lot of these, like for example, this one, there's no details on how to get in contact with the developer. There's no Discord link or like an email. From what I can see, there is literally nothing on here to suggest how I would do that. This one's a free asset, so we can download this and add to the marketplace. But this one is huge. This is pretty huge. The download button. So I actually to test something, I bought just a very cheap animation pack. We'll look at one that you can pay for in a moment because there's some slight differences in that side of things. But one huge thing was the download. So I bought it and I was going to add it to a project, and I realized I didn't have the engine correct engine size engine update. So it was like for 5.4 to 5.5, and I was using 5.1. And what was great is that I can actually, so if you add it to your library, you can go back in, add it to a project. But obviously, if it's not within that scope, 5.4 to 5.5, it will just cancel it and say you can't download it. However, if I download it raw, the raw files to my PC, and then drag those into my project, it actually worked. It reformatted it to the correct engine, which is phenomenal. So that is a huge win, in my opinion. So it doesn't. You don't have to rely on these creators making these products for the correct engine. You can actually just add them to any project if you just download the files. So that is a huge, huge win. I thought that was brilliant. And if we go back, we'll find a paid for asset pack. So, oh my days, look at these big ones. Let's go for like this one. It doesn't matter. So the difference on this one now is we can select a license. You have professional or personal. Obviously, professional is, it says it here, for studios or other entities within over 100,000 revenue or funding in the past 12 months. And then you have the personal, which is less than 100,000 funding in the 12 months. So slightly cheaper. Now, a lot of people were confused. I've seen a lot of comments of people saying, I don't understand, do I have to buy professional or personal? But basically, if you are a brand new indie dev out of the box, you're not earning any money, and you are just getting started, you can buy the personal one. And even if you then earn over 100,000, you won't be penalized for not using the professional license. It's kind of like an automatic upgrade. Anything you've bought prefab is automatically a professional as far as I'm concerned, because you've bought that way before this was ever a thing. So you can use that in the mindset that it's as a professional license. However, if you really are concerned, you could always spend the extra, like in this instance, spend the extra £100 to get the professional. However, if you really are just starting out, just get the personal. It's not going to affect you. And like I said, even if you started to then earn 100,000, they're not going to hold their hands out going, you owe us an extra £100. It doesn't work like that. You've bought their license, you've paid the money, they've got their money. You're fine. So yeah, so that was one of the things that I think a lot of people disliked. I don't think it's a bad thing for sellers. I think it's great for sellers who want to make this a career in terms of selling assets, because you're not losing out on money if they do end up earning like millions. You've got your money, right? If they're a huge studio who's worth like 500,000, you're going to get that professional. You're getting that little bit extra from a professional studio. Um, so yeah, it's just one of the things that you need to watch out for, especially if you are a well-developed indie studio who's earned 100,000 or more. You will be expected to obviously buy the professional license. It's something that happens on places like Fiverr as well. So it's not like it's a new thing. It's just that Unreal's developed this for the sellers so they can obviously earn that little bit extra money. Um, so yeah, whether you love it or hate it, it's here to stay, I think. Um, so yeah, really, really, really interesting stuff. Other than that, I mean, you can see the Unreal Engine support engine. So this is only supported for 5.4. So it won't go into 5.1 or 5.0 or 5.2. You would have to download it and put it in. That's what I found anyway. Near enough every file is downloadable as well. So you shouldn't have any issues or any worries that, I can't get my hands on the project files now because I don't have the correct engine number. You will be fine. Um, you can get other extra information as well. So the same information we used to have on the old marketplace is all still available here. You just have to go down to additional information. But yeah, it's near enough the same. It's just it's got a few extra annoyances. I think the biggest thing is not being able to open it up in the launcher and use it in the launcher for ease of use. The other thing as well is the I think a lot of people are finding it's annoying that you can't ask questions to to the creators of these assets. You can't ask quick questions. You have to like try and find a Discord, and like I said, it's not readily available information. Um, so unless they put it in here, you're not going to get that information, and you're not going to be able to ask those questions ahead of buying these assets. And there's been some questions on things like getting refunds and things like that, which we'll look at in a minute. There was someone put one on there where they struggled as well. So yeah, so let's have a look at some of the Reddit comments. I'll bring them up one at a time, and then we can just kind of go through them. So the first one was Fab refund policy is a joke. This is from MC Teapot or McTeapot. Just throwing this out here because honestly I'm at a loss. So I recently bought an asset on Fab Marketplace, one of many as usual. Only this time I realized I accidentally purchased it under the company account from my previous job instead of my personal one. Thinking it would be a straightforward fix, I contacted Fab support. Their refund policy clearly states that if a product hasn't been downloaded, you're eligible for a refund within 14 days. So I thought it would be a quick swap to my regular account. Well, that turned out to be a mess. Fab refused to issue the refund and is now telling me to reach out to the seller for approval, as if I have any control over their response time. After days of back and forth emails, I've received nothing but radio silence and I'm down $80. Easily one of the most frustrating customer service experiences I've had. They really don't make it easy for you. So that's not really a great start for Fab because, I mean, $80, it doesn't sound like a lot, but to the normal everyday people, $80 is a lot of money. And the fact that they just, you know, clearly have the eligibility for a refund in 14 days if you haven't downloaded it, it should have been a clear, easy win that, yes, okay, you haven't downloaded it, it's not within 14 days, here's your $80 back. Considering he even said he wanted just to buy it on his personal one, you'd think that'd be very, very straightforward. Heck, even if they just moved that accessibility to file onto his personal one, that would have been such a quick, easy win. So yeah, not a very good start for Fab, sadly. Our second post is be careful with Fab assets. Just a word of caution in that I bought a product on Fab yesterday, added to my project, which subsequently wiped all of my project settings and broke parts of my main map. After speaking to the developer, it turns out that asset was originally a Create project and that the transition to Fab, or lack of updates since transitioning to Fab, had caused it to be an add to project. So that is a huge no. That's very worrying that Mr. Concept had gone through that. That's got to be a huge blow that you've got to now go back and fix areas of your map and sort all your project settings out purely just because they hadn't transferred that over in the correct manner. I haven't seen too many Create projects since opening Fab, so maybe this is actually a bit of an issue where you can't actually create projects anymore, and everything has to be done as an add to project, or because of Unity. So that could be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that develops going forward. We've got It's Not Bloodborne. Fab is hot garbage, and this implementation is so stupid it hurts. We went from having a streamlined marketplace all in the Epic launcher to having it go to an external website that is somehow laid out even worse than before. This is the most ham-fisted, idiotic corporate move that is so user unfriendly. It's offensive. What are you guys thinking? I'll never know. Yeah, I can't agree more. That is one huge thing. That was one of the huge things for me, that it needs to be done in the Epic launcher. And yeah, just mad that they didn't think that one through, and they just put it into a web link is crazy. Considering they had all that there to begin with, surely that Fab move is such a simple, easy win, and they didn't do it. It's just, yeah, I completely agree with this one. What have we got next? So Epic needs to introduce regional pricing and discounts in Fab marketplace for the benefit of sellers and the buyers. Currently, 3D models, environmental packs, plugins are too expensive for an individual. That means that one has to create his own or her own 3D models in Blender or Maya and then import it to Unreal, which will take a long time. Also, the professional pricing for some assets is ridiculous. Large studios can afford to hire people to create 3D assets from scratch, whereas small game developers cannot pay for each and every asset and expect to make a profit. On top of that, some of the environmental packs are poorly optimized. Hopefully, in the coming months, Epic will take some preventative measures to help the community out. Sadly, this is kind of down to more the creator. I don't 100% agree with this one. Basically, I think it's more, if the creator makes a bad product, that's on the creator. Not so much on Epic. They can't really sort of check out every single thing that's created on the marketplace. In all honesty, what they need to do is bring back the rating system and allow us to carry on rating these products. Because I mean, if it's a really bad optimized environmental pack, you're not going to give it 5 stars. You're going to give it 1 star, and people in the future are going to see that and go, "Whoa, that's a bad product." And then if they can get back in line that refund policy, if you said, "Oh look, it's terrible, I can't use it, it's awful," and then you do a refund, that's going to put a bit of a red flag on that asset pack as well. So we kind of need those features back and to be a bit more streamlined, I think. But I appreciate you always saying it's not good. Not every asset pack is great. You just have to be very, very careful and go for the more trusted creators on Fab from now on. Finally, we have this one from What a Weird Guy. Where in Fab can I communicate with the creators? I just bought a pack and need to ask the developer a question regarding crashing with SM6, but I can't find anywhere on the page for connecting with them. Anyone know how that's implemented now? Yes, it's not implemented. It's not there anymore. They really do need to bring that back, because that is a huge loss. We can't communicate with the creators directly through the marketplace, and as a result, it's always going to cause issues. So yeah, huge one for me. There's so much more on Reddit and Facebook and so many other places where people are just not happy with the current state of Fab. I think it's got potential. I think some of the features they've brought in has been wonderful, like the download feature. I think that's brilliant. However, I just think the execution was very poor, and they just took out features that were already in the marketplace that worked really, really well, like the communication and things like that. And yeah, just not great. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens with Fab now, and see how they kind of update it in the future. I really do hope they put it back into the launcher, because that was really, really useful. And I hate going to the web browser; it's very slow. And also the other thing I noticed is that if you have the launcher open and you buy a pack, you have to close down the launcher and reopen it for it to be in your library. So that is another thing as well I've noticed. But yeah, let me know what you guys think below. I'd really, really like to know what your guys' thoughts on Fab. We're trying to head for 10k subscribers by the end of my 3rd year. So please hit that sub button. It would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love. Take care. Bye.